Hello guys, welcome back to Lawyers Club India's channel. My name is Sankalp Tiwari and I am the content chief here at LCI. And today we will talk about a judgment that is not only legally relevant but also very socially relevant uh, given that in our present times there are a lot of marital disputes, and this topic of maintenance and alimony is an evergreen topic in this subject matter, and it keeps coming back time and again. And so, in today's video we will discuss this concept called maintenance and the judgment that was given by the Honorable Allahabad High Court in the month of January 2026. So, before we start the video, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard phrases like, and this I'm talking in context of marital disputes or in general the social commentary about maintenance and alimony whenever it happens? I'm sure most of you would have heard phrases like, if the woman is educated, why does she need maintenance? Or when that woman is capable of earning, then why in the first place should she be allowed to get any maintenance at all? So stay with me if some of you people believe that this is how it should be, that education should equate to a salary, or a degree should equate to no maintenance. So stay with me, because the Honorable High Court of Allahabad has actually given a very clear jurisprudence upon this topic in the case titled Suman Verma and another versus State of UP and another. This was decided in this particular month of January 2026. And before we delve into the facts of the case, I would just like to clarify the legal framework for the viewers who don't know about it. So, in this particular case, the section that was used or applied was the section 125 of CRPC. Now, section 125 of CRPC was essentially meant to prevent destitution, and it's a social welfare. It's a social welfare measure to ensure that the wives, children, or the vulnerable group of people are not left to destitute. So, in the new criminal provisions, section 125 of CRPC is now section 144 of BNSS. The wording, the law, everything is the same, just the section number is different. So, keeping that in mind, we will straight away delve into the facts of the matter. So, there were two parties who got married in the year 2006. A child, a son, was born out of this wedlock, and over time, this marital relation started to deteriorate. Now, the wife, Suman Verma, had alleged that she was subjected to cruelty and harassment at her matrimonial home. She stated that she was physically assaulted and mentally tortured, and that ultimately she was forced to leave her matrimonial home along with her child. She thereafter said that she had proceeded to stay with her parents at her parental home. Now, the husband had, however, alleged that all these allegations are not true. He had also said that the wife has had left that matrimonial home on her own, and that she had further threatened him to file false cases onto him. And more importantly, there was a very distinct thing in the court that he had said, and that is that he had denied the paternity of the child, meaning that he denied to be to being the father of the child that was their child, uh, as per the wife. Now, with no source of income, and and the tremendous sense of responsibility that comes with taking care of the child, the wife had filed a application of maintenance in the family court under section 125 of the CRPC, which is one section 144 of the BNSS as of today. Now, what eventually happened was that the family court had granted only 3,000 per month to the child, and the family court had further denied the maintenance entirely for the wife. And the reasoning adopted by the family court, and this reasoning is something which is adopted by many courts still today. And that reasoning is that the family court said that because the wife is educated, she could earn. And they also said that because the wife didn't file any FIR or criminal complaint alleging cruelty earlier, and that she had refused to return to her matrimonial home even after the husband filing the restitution of conjugal rights application, still she did not return. So the family court basically pointed towards three things. The husband had initially filed a restitution case before the court, uh, saying that the wife is the wife is violating her conjugal rights and that she should perform the same and she should return back to her matrimonial home. Secondly, the wife had not filed any criminal complaint earlier before this case came into place. And thirdly, the court had said that because the wife was educated, she was well capable enough to earn, and so she does not require any maintenance at all. And to top all of this off, the family court granted the child only 3,000 rupees per month. Now, obviously, this amount is not particularly a big amount, considering the times we live in, the inflation rates and all of that. And so, aggrieved by this, the wife moved to the Honorable Allahabad High Court, wherein the issue that was mainly discussed by the court was primarily starting from the issue of the education of the wife. So the court in this case had drawn a sharp and a very necessary distinction between the capability of earning and actually earning. And so, because the law does not, run on assumptions, my dear viewers, a degree is not income, qualification does not pay rent. And so, unless there is proof of earning and financial independence, maintenance cannot be denied merely because the wife is educated. Meaning that if there is no certain proof of financial independence or that any actual earning is coming into place, till then the maintenance cannot be denied. And this is a very crucial clarification. Now, secondly, I'm very briefly going over these points. We will just elaborate upon it further. And the second issue was regarding the cruelty and the absence of criminal complaints. Upon this, the court had said that the idea that a woman must file an FIR to prove that she suffered cruelty is not a very sympathetic or a very justifiable approach to this problem. The court acknowledged that there is a social reality that exists, which judges must not forget. Not every woman wants to turn her marriage into a criminal battlefield, or a litigation, a perpetual litigation conflict. There are a lot of things that comes with a certain criminal complaint, especially if it's from the woman's side. It includes, and not limiting to, fear, emotional fatigue, social shame, stigma, etc., etc. And moreover, there is also a child in question, and the court said that there could be a chance that the woman did not want the child to remain in this particular environment. And so the court further said that the section 144 of BNSS, or section 125 of CRPC, as is discussed here, it does not require a proof. It does not require proof beyond reasonable doubt, and that the prima facie satisfaction that the wife was compelled to live separately for valid reasons was more than enough. And then comes the restitution argument, which was given by the husband. The husband claimed that he was willing to take her back and that she had refused to cohabit again, and that because of this, she is disentitled towards the maintenance. So the High Court made it very clear that the restitution of conjugal rights cannot be used as a weapon to force a woman back into an environment which she finds unsafe. Now, let's come to the child. So the father in this case was earning close to 50,000 per month. The family court thought that 3,000 per month was an adequate amount. The High Court had pointed that the maintenance for the child must reflect the actual needs. Education, food, welfare, basic dignified living, etc., cannot be reduced to symbolic amounts like 3,000 rupees. The court reiterated that the maintenance is not a charity, it's a legal obligation that flows through from a legal responsibility. And ultimately, the Allahabad High Court had set aside the family court's order and had directed a fresh consideration for maintenance, keeping in mind the wife's lack of income, the husband, the husband's earning capacity, and the real needs of the child. Now, what does this judgment teaches us? It teaches us that the maintenance law is not only about pushing one spouse and rewarding the other. It is it is certainly not about money and numbers only. So what is it about? It is about preventing injustice. It is about trying to maintain the right of dignified living that comes under that is granted to us by the constitution under article 21. It is also about ensuring that the separation of a spouse does not translate into poverty for the spouse that's getting separated. And most importantly, this particular judgment reminds the courts to look at human realities as realities and not just stereotypes. And as future lawyers and current practitioners or even informed citizens, it is very important to understand judgments like this to help us see how law evolves with the society. If you found this explanation helpful, do like the video, share it, and drop a comment telling me which judgment would you want me to break down next. Any and all suggestions are welcome. This is Sankalp Tiwari, Content Chief of Lawyers Club India. See you in the next one. Thank you.